Come on. Let me hold something. Come on, bro. Nobody ever gives me nothing. Pierre killed the SB's entry.
Oh, not the SBs.
Yeah, it just started. Yo, they put on Kendrick Not Like Us because, Serena Williams dated Drake and she was like crip walking.
She from Compton. She from Bompton.
Mm-hmm. So I was looking to swing in video puts and coin puts. So if those do show weakness tomorrow, I'll be looking at those. But I just might want to go blocking today. But Nvidia looked really weak today. And Coinbase looks like it wants to go back to 200.
Yeah. Bitcoin's down too, ain't it?
Yeah. SNCI is down $7 after hours.
Sheesh.
See if a few more people hop on and I'll get started.
Man, it said 23 people were signed up, and we ain't got half of that.
You want me to be honest with you? I think that number stays the same from once they click on.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Did you get an iteration for every week?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of doing it one by one? Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So this week we had a 400% play, 300% plays. Dell was 200% on a Monday, which would have been 1,000%. It is what it is, but Carvana would have been 600, 700%. End of week too. McDonald's hit 300% today. You can't take these games for granted. I don't know if y'all do, but I certainly don't, because I've been trading for a while now, and I don't know anybody that's hitting these big returns. And the only reason why we are is because we're good with reading daily charts and the weekly charts, so we're catching big moves. That's why day trading is cool, but if I'm hitting 6 swing trades that are hitting over 100% every week, I'm going to just chill and swing trade. I feel like it's a lot less stressful. You buy it, you wake up, boom. You leave runners, boom, simple. So that's kind of, as y'all know, if you've been in here for a while, that's what I've been trying to do. And week after week, we've been very successful. I think I got clapped 2 months ago. One week was my worst week ever. But other than that, consistently doing well. My portfolio, my personal one, my options account is up this for the whole year. So if you've been following me, I know you guys like to do your own plays too. It's hard, so you're not gonna follow me perfectly, but I know some people that are on pace with me and they be taking all my plays. So try your best to get in when I get in. If I post 3 plays, get in all 3. One might lose, the other 2 will go 200%. So, yeah. But let's go over some of the plays we got. On Monday, Rogue had us in a TSM swing trade for our earnings run up. So what we like to do is play the run up into earnings and sell. So just like yesterday, somebody had Pepsi calls. They hit 150%. He sold. If he didn't sell, he lost all his money because Pepsi tanked. So we played the earnings run up on TSM. Chips are bullish. It was getting upgraded every day. It hit 400% on Monday. Dell, I caught a day trade on Dell. I saw that sector was showing strength. I bought the second higher low midday. That shit ripped $4 right after we got in. Over 100%. Boom. So Monday was excellent. And I told you guys that I was swinging Dell. So Dell gapped up again the next day and went $4 again. So if you swung your runners with me or if you got in because I said I was swinging, then you made money on Dell again on Tuesday. And around like 4:10, you can buy ETF options until 4:15. At 4:10, I told you guys I was entering a QQQ position, 100% at open. So Dell paid, Q's paid Tuesday. Tuesday evening, I didn't directly signal any trades, but I posted in my channel 30 minutes before close. I would swing these plays or I would look at them tomorrow. So that was FedEx, Carvana, and Lilly. Carvana gapped up the next day like $5. A couple people were able to get in. FedEx gapped down. That put went 100%. And Rogue called a couple plays on Wednesday too. JMIA and Microsoft in the chat. So there was a lot of content on Wednesday. That was a pretty good day. And today, Sound and McDonald's made 50% on McDonald's yesterday, swung it into today from my CPI play. And McDonald's was ripping all day on a bear day. So what you guys will notice is if you have your watch list set up the right way, there are certain stocks that go up when the market is down. So a lot of times UNH will go up when the market is down. UNH has been on an uptrend. So if you would have saw it pop this morning, an alert would have went off in your head. You would have bought calls and it went $5 after open. And same thing with McDonald's. McDonald's is a stock that usually goes up on a bear day. So I'm really happy I got in that position. And the stock market is crazy. The Qs and the SPY were down big, and IWM closed that high a day. You know, there's so many different sectors, and these stocks all do different things. So, um, yeah, it's pretty crazy to see how the money moves around, but many opportunities this week. I didn't call one losing trade. I don't think Rogue called one losing trade, and I'm very happy and satisfied. So, hope you guys were able to get into some of the plays. So that's basically how my week went. I'm in Roblox. Swing trade for tomorrow. Tesla got flat. Somebody asked me
Bruh.
about. They were like puts below 260, I think. And then
Oh,
I looked at it and I said, yeah, you might need to wait a bit because it's holding up stronger than everything else. And once I say that, boom, news comes out and it drops 15 in a straight line. Like, just insane. Like, you put went stupid today.
Q's dropped $10 today
Mm-hmm.
in a straight line.
And then, obviously, I know you guys are more busy than me during the day and I can look at shit more in depth, but we had a good CPI number and the market shot up at first and then it started pushing lower and then we broke down. So, just from my perspective, if we pop and then we drop and go red and Amazon is tanking and Apple's tanking, that's not a good sign. And an alert has to go off in your head and you got to say this is suspicious. And you got to be careful buying dips on days like that. Like imagine buying Netflix calls on the dip or QQQ calls. Like we were on a downtrend all day. So some people think they can buy the dip after 30 minutes and it drops another $5. So today was a really good day for puts. The market, just one of those days. Whose mic is that?
Yeah, somebody TV real loud. Um, did anyone straddle cost for their sales reports? Cost every month they do a sales report. It ripped up, but then it ended up tanking. So I'm just asking because on events like that, you want to straddle because you see it ripped up after hours, and obviously we can't sell contracts after hours. But then look at today's price action; it tanked. So that straddle would have saved you if anyone played costs. I know someone played calls, but I don't know if they were in puts as well.
He said she switched to puts after she saw it break down. I've
Okay.
been waiting for Costco puts, but it happened so fast today. Like, I mean, Costco got destroyed. Like, so many plays. You just throw
Yeah.
200-300 on it. Make a
Yeah.
bag.
Yep.
One of those days.
It's about to be
A
earnings
lot of the
season.
Dow
Hmm?
shares. So like sometimes the Dow will hold stronger. So like I think Home Depot's in the Dow, but McDonald's is. But Nike was green, Home Depot was green, and McDonald's were green. They're all next to each other on my watch list. So like it's funny how I have my watch list set up and all those stocks were green. Like they finished
Damn.
at the top. Um Tesla and Amazon usually move together. Those both just plummeted all day. Apple, Microsoft for tech stocks, those plummeted all day. So communications got smacked. Meta, Google, and Netflix, those got hammered today.
Yep.
So they were just selling all the winners.
Just so they can pop them back up for earnings next week. Watch. Or 2 weeks from now.
Shit, I would love for them to drop down more so we can get some cheap calls.
Yeah.
You want to say anything about any of the plays you called? Or?
As y'all know, I have been using the flow more. I have been getting more comfortable with it, but I still want y'all to treat the flow plays like lottos. I'm not saying to just don't do a regular position size on them. I'm still learning and reading it. I'm getting better with it, but I still want you to do light position sizes on them. But yeah, I'm getting more versed with the flow. It's a game changer. I do recommend that service flow algo. Only downside with it, you kind of have to be, I don't want to say staring at it, but you got to have it up. So it's good. It's a game changer. I mean, no other chat caught sound. Nobody else caught that unless they just randomly looked at the daily chart or if it was on their watch list. No one caught that. But how did I know to catch that? There was unusual flow, and I know sound is a stock that can pop a little bit and can do numbers. So shout out to the flow. But just be looking for more flow
And one
play.
thing,
Oh, go ahead.
like the thing is, McDonald's was green on a red day, and then Sound was up 15% and hit 300% on a red day. Like we called two calls that went 300% on a red day. So
Yep. Yep.
I think that shit's amazing. I don't know about you guys, but
And sound is a tech stock, and all the tech was pretty much down. So yeah.
that's the shit I love right there.
Mm-hmm. But y'all let me know how y'all liking the flow plays. Um, I've been noticing since it's big money, they typically add like a week worth of time to their contracts.
I'm going to go to the store.
So who was that? Someone
I
mute your
muted
mic.
him.
Oh, okay. So if you look at the sale flow, they bought next week's contracts. Realistically, we should have went with this week's contracts. I mean, next week still paid 300% on next week's. I can't imagine what this week's did. But it's just something I'm still working on. I don't want to get y'all clapped on these flow plays, but I'm noticing that they're buying, like even when I called Microsoft the other day, just in the chat real quick, they spent $2 million on next week's contracts. Because think about it, we went in on that Microsoft trade and made 50% quickly. They made 50% on $2 million. How much is that? That's $1 million. So I see they big money gives themselves time and some cushion to be right because they don't want to have to work against data decay so quickly. But I will be a little bit more aggressive, and if I see like big orders for like the next week, I'm also going to enter some for this coming week. I'm gonna test that on my own and then see how it works, and then let it out to y'all. But right now, we're just gonna follow the flow, follow what it says, what the order is. But yeah, I'm liking flow a lot, and y'all let me know how y'all like it. You can get off. You can get on the voice right now, or just type it in the chat whenever. But I'm definitely liking it. It's a game changer.
I was looking at the weekly contracts. I wasn't gonna complain and be like, "Oh my god, if we got this week's," but obviously this week's went. The one I saw was up 600% after open. So I mean, yeah, that shit
But
crazy.
ain't nobody doing 300% on next week's cons. Like
Oh
that's
nah.
I'm still happy about that. But yeah, I should have looked into this week's. But you know, I'm following the flow as it is right now. When I get a little bit more, when I get some more reps in, then I'll be like, all right, let's take this week's, or
Mm-hmm.
they did a monthly. Let's do let's just do 2 weeks. So we'll see.
You don't, if you want to, like, you could just drop all your flow plays, like, you can just DM me and I'll look at them and like look at the chart and combine it with the flow, if you're ever bored during the day.
Okay, yeah, I've been posting it more in the chat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can definitely do that. Because there was one
Oh,
ticker. It's called GXO. I didn't alert it, but I did get in because it just looked kind of strange. It's a month, and they only have monthly contracts. I saw the flow for it,
damn, that
and
shit ripped.
I'm up 100. Now it's a monthly contract, but I'm up 130% on it. I didn't alert it because I don't think anyone's ever traded that stock, and we typically don't alert monthlies. But yeah, the flow pointed me towards that too. Like
Yo,
before it
that shit
happened.
ripped.
Look at it before it happened. Like the flow, man, it's a game changer. A complete game changer.
They must have had good news. I mean, FedEx ripped today too. Those are both logistics stocks. They got their price target raised. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that
Yep.
thing ripped.
Mm-hmm. I'm in some monthlies I'm just in one. I was in two, but I trimmed for August 16th. They got earnings next month too, so I'm gonna just hold it. But yeah, it did
Yeah.
rip. Yep. Imagine if I bought this week or the contract expiring on the 19th. Those are up 750%. So that's what I'm saying. Like if we can be a little bit more aggressive with the expirations, we can definitely make bank. But for right now, let's just keep playing it safe and following what they're saying, and keep your position sizes. Basically, I size for 0 with the flow plays. Now, I ain't gonna lie, with sound, I did go a little bit more heavy because y'all know I'm kind of like a sound girly, so I did go a little heavy on that. I saw sound had a strong day. Sound's one of those stocks that if it has a lot of volume one day, the next day it's probably gonna still have a lot of volume. So, but just keep your position sizes light, like a lotto, size for 0, because sometimes you gotta let these flow plays cook. But yeah, that's all I got. Just be on the lookout for flow plays.
Flow plays, flow plays.
And not everything is gonna have flow. Like today, coin dropped and no flow popped up for coin whatsoever. No orders for today. Now, if I check the historical flow, they might have had orders set for today that they placed like weeks ago. But not everything's gonna pop up on the flow. But like I said, it is still a good tool because it's gonna let you know what's like up and coming. So.
Let's touch on two trades that are a good example of taking profits is key. So when she posted Microsoft in the chat the other day, it instantly went 50% in minutes. And I always tell you guys, you gotta gauge taking profits by how quick you make the money. So if you never sold Microsoft up 50%, it wound up tanking. So like,
Flat.
I remember somebody in the chat was asking something about, oh, they're for next week. Should we take profit? And you and me both said the same thing about 50% in X amount of time you sell,
Yeah.
So, and then Lily contracts that I was telling y'all about, the 1,000 calls, they went over 100%. Even though they're for next week, they're so far out of the money that if you make 100% the next day, I mean, are you going to keep holding or are you going to sell? So that's why taking profits is key and scaling up. Like, not everything is gonna hit 500-600%. It's possible, but you got to think about the other side of it too. So, me, I trim on the way up. I'm never holding the bag. I never have a full position getting clapped ever. So I'm always locking in my profits and scaling up, you know, especially when I reset my account because I usually start with X amount, go up, and then take it all out. So when I'm starting at the bottom again, I need to take all my gains to build up. Then once I have thousands in my account, then I could let things sit a little bit longer. But when I'm building up from the bottom, I don't play no games. I'm taking every game. You might not want to, but at the end of the week, it adds up. You know what I'm saying? So discipline, take profits. You know. McDonald's, right? So you had a couple McDonald's contracts at open over 100%. You leave some runners, the runners go to 300%. Sound, you sell sound at open at 200%. The runners hit 300%. So, try to leave some runners on your winning trades and, try not to exit your whole position. If you still have conviction, then it's going to keep going your way, you know?
Oh, and I want to touch on that with sound. Um, when it's up like 300% and it start pulling back, keep a stop in profit. Now, some people, and I do this sometimes, when I trim and I'm down to my runners, I can take 100% loss on the runners and it won't really like hurt the profits I made. I don't know if y'all trimmed that amount. Like, let's say I was in 10 contracts. Actually, I was in 100 contracts for sound. So we'll just do 10 to keep it simple. But let's say I'm in 10 contracts and I just got 330% on, I'm at 330%. I'm going to trim 7 and let those 3 do whatever. If those 3 get clapped, I'm still up more than half of what I lost on those 3 going straight to 0. Now, typically I don't do that. Sometimes I do. It just depends on how much I'm up. Like I have to be up like 500% to let that happen. But always keep a stop in profit. If something's pulling back, I like to keep it. I like to keep the stop at like 100%. Or okay, if the trade gets to 50%, then I exit my runners. So sound got back down to like 100%, and I exited my runners. So.
Mm-hmm. And runners are what make you a lot of money. Like, I know a lot of y'all been trading Tesla to the upside the past few weeks. If you left runners day after day, you were making hella money. I left Dell runners for Tuesday, smacked. Gotta leave those runners. McDonald's, I could have said, oh my God, guys, let's sell all our McDonald's. No, it's bullish. I like the daily chart and the weekly chart. You swing into today. Instead of selling all for 50%, sell for 300% or 200%, So, um, I talk about runners often, and that's how you can really make some good money. If anybody's trying to do a group study session, let me know. We can set one up.
Oh, and I want to touch on something else. A lot of y'all are taking y'all own plays, which just don't go too heavy on taking y'all own plays. A lot of y'all are in a lot of stuff, too many things at once. If you got the itch to take a trade of your own, just paper trade it. Because the trades y'all take is kind of really hurting y'all's profits. So if you take a trade, just go light or paper trade it. But if you're trying to build a small account, I don't recommend you taking your own trades, especially if you're not too sure on like what you're doing. Trust me, I've been there. I thought I knew what I was doing. I was taking my own trades and I was kind of making money, but then giving it back, and then I was just over trading, taking my own trades. So unless you got the discipline to know, like, okay, after two red trades, I'm done, or after X amount dollar loss, I'm done, or I'm only gonna wait on this setup to take a trade. Relax on taking your own trade.
Yeah, you know, I'll I'll talk to people and they'll say, "Hey, like I didn't win this week," and I'll go to my notes and I'll go to my account and I'll go like I was winning. So like I can't. It's not funny. Like no, like
Yeah.
it's not funny. But cause
Right.
like when I see myself win week after week after week after week after week, and you hit me up and I know you've been rocking with the chat for a minute, then there's a dislocation and I want to help you. I want to take the blame. I want somebody to message me and be like, "Yo, look at all these trades I lost. You called them." I want somebody to write that to me. I don't want you to be like I'm losing in a chat where I call nothing but bangers week after week. So, you know, I know you guys want to do your own stuff. If you're winning, doing your own thing, then you're winning. But if there's 2-3 weeks where you're break even or down after me and Rogue have been killing it, then you got to take a look in the mirror and say, hey, all right, I'm just gonna take their place. You know what I'm saying? Because I want you guys to be winning like I am. So I'm averaging like one loss a week, a half a loss a week. Last week I lost on DraftKings. That was my one loss, and I like some of those lottos. Like those lottos didn't hit on Friday, but that doesn't really count. I don't put a lot on those plays, but and then the week before that was like spy. But other than that, like I might average like one loss a week, and I'm calling like 8 to 10 trades a week, so 80-90% win rate. You know, so I've been killing it. Everything hitting 100%, 200%.
Andy, did you trade futures this morning? I think I saw you on. I couldn't hop on though.
And I wish we were on voice today. I wasn't feeling good, but we would have caught some crazy shit on voice.
Like what? Spot
Huh?
puts? Do you think puts?
I mean, anything, anything we
Oh,
looked at, we would have made money. Like,
yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't really watch too much today because, the workday was over after 5 minutes if you saw
mhm.
sound. But yeah.
If I ever say I'm going to do something, the market's gonna move. Just know that, because every time I say I'm going to the gym, the market rips or tanks. I said, all right, guys, I'm not feeling good. Be back later. The Q's drop 10. So if I ever say I'm going to do something, you might want to look at the market. You
All
know,
right, y'all,
we
I
would
gotta
have
go
hopped
like
on
5
this one.
minutes. Anyone got questions for me? Now's the time. I'll be here for another 5 minutes. What you was about to say?
I forget.
Oh, damn, my bad.
Oh, we're looking at Tesla live. We would have hopped in puzzle so fast.
I got a question.
US was.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
What risk management are you using? Like, if you have like a 1,500 portfolio, how much are you using per trade? And are you using a cash account or a margin account? So like, if you use a cash account, it doesn't settle to the next day. If you use a margin, you get it right back.
Mm-hmm. I use the margin account.
All
And if
right.
I had 1,500 in my account, I would do 300 per trade. If it was something that was a day trade, like we know it's gonna bounce here, I would put more than 300, like 500. But like then now I can touch on like if it's my plays, and you're like, damn, 80 to 90% of the trades win, put 1,000 on it. Like I think risk management is very important, but at the end of the day, are the plays working or not? If they're working, put 70% of your account. Now, people that don't know how to trade should not do that. But if it's something that I'm calling week after week that's winning and winning, and you want to go a little bit heavier than 300 out of 1,500, then you can do that. You know, it's all about what you're comfortable putting up. You know, like me, I can go all in every time if I want, especially on day trades. On a swing trade, I won't do that, but on a day trade, I could go all in if I want because I'm buying at a specific area and it's gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? So It's really all about the trade and your confidence in it. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But yeah, don't ever put too much on swing trades of your account. You know, because swing trading is a little more out of your hands. But day trading, you know, try our best to buy at specific levels. Day trades, I do really good with day trades. You know, I wait for the perfect time to get in. So day trades usually work out well for me, as do swings. But you know, swings you have a little less control.
You watching anything for tomorrow?
Coin puts. Coin puts, Nvidia puts. Tesla might be volatile tomorrow. It's down $4 after hours. I'll check to see what Tesla's doing. Probably do my
Roblox
chart
puts
later.
Roblox puts are in the money.
Yeah. It had a nice little drop after hours. It's looking good. It should drop tomorrow. It would be nice. I mean, it already has a weekly shooter, so they might as well push it down more. Down almost 1%. We got PPI report in the morning, but I think Roblox gonna drop.
Uber look good to the upside tomorrow. Above today's highs. It'll break out.
That shit massive.
Yeah.
Fat hammer on the weekly chart. Looks good above 74 level.
Uh-huh. Let's check the oh wow. God, Uber calls did 2,000% today. Oh my gosh. The 72, 73, and 74 all did over 2,000.
That IV spike.
Oh.
That move it did from like 69 to 72. I know that IV was ripping right there.
Yeah. I had an alert too. Ooh, next week Uber 75 call got 15,000 OI. The 77.5 got 10,000 OI. Uber got earnings. When they got earnings? I think it's at the end of the month. I can't tell on this weekly chart. Yeah, but keep Uber on watch to the upside.
I definitely do look at stuff at night, but a lot of times, like, I'll just look at it briefly at night, and then I'll really look at it in the morning. So, you know, I'll be doing my scans at like 8 a.m. to open. That's when I usually have a better feel for what's gonna go. You know what's funny? I don't know if you remember. Oh, you should remember. Remember I called Home Depot for CPI like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and it ripped like $10.
Uh-huh.
So yesterday I was like, Home Depot's on a little uptrend. Last time I hit it, if I just would have went with my first gut feeling, like go look at the Home Depot chart. You know that's a setup I take. Like, look at that. Yesterday's candle was the breakout, and then boom, you add calls.
Damn.
So the gap, it would have been another Home Depot CPI. So there's
Damn.
some stocks that be going.
Oh, look at GDX, bro. It's usually trade GLD, but GDX is good to trade too if you want to trade gold. Oh my god, the flow alerted this shit, and I got out for like 70%. Oh, I got out yesterday.
You told me about it last week, correct?
Yeah, but look at it today.
Yeah, Pete. I've been watching it. I've been keeping my eye on gold because you told me about it at like 219, 220 or something like that, and it's been on an uptrend. So that would have been another flow play.
Yeah, it was for me. I didn't alert it because I never traded GDX before, so I wanted to see what it does. But I like this better than GOD, so if I see it again, I'll definitely alert it for y'all.
Yeah, the market's crazy.
Yeah, but something ain't right because ain't gold supposed to be inverse of the market?
Well, if you're saying it's inverse of the market, gold was up today and the market was down.
Well, yeah, true. But the market's been on an uptrend, and gold's been on an uptrend too.
Well, there's something going on with gold. So like gold, that used to be the trend back 3 years ago, 2 years ago, but gold is on a breakout and it's super bullish. So it's gonna be up more than it's down. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Back during the war and stuff, and like before then, it definitely was the inverse. Like,
Okay.
you know, my
Yeah,
gold puts don't work.
you said what?
My gold puts don't work.
But keep that on watch, 'cause that's a beautiful hammer. So I think it's gonna break an all-time high too. Oh no, not an all-time high, but it's gonna break out of this like triple top essentially if it breaks 35.70. So keep it on watch. Oh, it's above 35.70. I was talking about. Oh yeah, this got room up to 40. I'm gonna keep GDX on watch. Yeah. All right, y'all. That's it for me. I gotta go. I'll see y'all in the chat tomorrow.
See ya. If anybody wants to chop it up, feel free to unmute yourself. And if you're trying to talk, you might be muted. You can just tell me to unmute you in the chat. What a day. Y'all good?
What you think about Tesla?
It had news today. It now has the shooter on the week. At a level it should have rejected. So it's funny. This is so funny. I'm gonna pull it up, but somebody asked me about it, I think Sunday night, and I charted it. And there was a downtrend line on a big time frame, and it literally like had a false breakout and is back below the trend line. So it went up to where it was supposed to go. People made a ton of money and it's pulling back now. If you go look at the chart, back in December, 265. 265 is a key level. It's so easy to know not to go long after such a big move at a resistance level. So it dropped where it was supposed to drop. It could easily come down to, there's a gap to fill down on 230.
Yep.
There's mad gaps, gap down on 220. So it could go lower. If it's bearish tomorrow, it could go to 230. But you know.
Okay. Yeah, I think it might go down to like, I might touch 228, 227, then rip back up right before earnings. That's what I think about them.
Yeah.
But we'll see. For
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how that works. I mean, it literally smacked a previous resistance, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, it failed to make new highs. So the high was 265 Tuesday, 265 yesterday. Like, that was a clear exhaustion. And then everybody's been waiting for it to drop. So when it drops, everybody, they're like, oh shit, I'm out too. And that's why it could go down. I think it was down $30 from the highs. Like, that shit's crazy. And if you're ever trading a stock, Tesla could be a little expensive if you're playing at the money, but just say you see Tesla dropping fast and you have a small account and you can't spend $400 on an at the money put and you think it's still gonna drop, you could buy a $70 put, $80 put, it'll still make money, you know. Like don't sleep on at the money options. I still do them, but like if you know me for a while, especially when like Amazon was high and Tesla was high, I used to kill out the money options. But I still do it on stocks like, I mean, take Eli Lilly as an example. We did the 1,000 calls at 9:30, and then SMCI. You can trade out the money options on SMCI and make a lot of money. So Tesla, it makes big moves. Out the money calls been paying, and then could have bought a cheap put today. So never feel like you can't afford something if it's gonna move, because you can. Those contracts be ripping. Now a stock like Roblox, I never go out of the money. I'm always at the money with Roblox. McDonald's, I'm always at the money. So I play it safe with some stocks, and other stocks that make big moves, we can go further out. How long you been in the chat, incognito? Oh, I wish I called Carvana. Fuck, man. Like, there's always, every week there's one play that goes 500%. I don't call. Damn, can't get them all.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you explain uh can you explain how do you use like I know you talk about like the nine a lot. What that's like you have the MA or EMA, like what is that?
So I use the 9MA. I mainly use it on the 10-minute chart intraday to confirm a bullish trend or a bearish trend. If a stock is above the 9, it's bullish. And then if it comes down to the 9, it usually bounces. So on a bullish trend, you can wait for it to come back to the 9. And if it holds, you could buy there. And then on a daily chart, if a stock is above the 9, it's bullish. You don't want to short, you're going to lose. And vice versa for bearish. You typically want to wait for reversal patterns. Like if you go look at Tesla on the daily chart, it went from, in like 2 weeks, it went from 175 to 230. Everybody's like, it's up 50. I'm buying puts, it's too high. It goes up another 30 because it's on an uptrend breakout with volume above the 9. You don't want to short that. It's an uptrend. So everybody that kept shorting because it was quote unquote too high, everybody's buying puts on Apple for the last 3 weeks because it's too high. It's on an uptrend. Don't touch it. Buy puts on something that's bearish, right? Eli Lilly is up 300 in like 2 months. Everybody's buying puts. It keeps going up because it's on the uptrend. So it's just a tool to let you know, hey, this is either going up or this is going down to help put the statistics in your favor. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So you said that's a 9 MA, right?
Yeah, the 9MA. Now, since it's a small time frame, if you use the EMA versus the MA, it's basically going to be the same thing. So, but very important. I use the 9 and VWAP intraday for day trading. It works perfectly. And that's basically all I need, but I obviously implement other things to help with my decisions as well. You know, like, is that sector bullish? Is this stock breaking out on a daily, weekly chart? You know, et cetera, et cetera. But overall, all you need is the 9 and VWAP on a 10-minute chart. And all you got to do is look at the candles. If it's fat red candles, it's bearish below the 9. Vice versa for green, you know. Dell on Monday, like, it had a perfect setup. It ripped up, came down to support, and then made another low, but it was a higher low. And we bought right at support, and it ripped right back up. So that was just, I think, like 2 voice sessions ago, I was talking to you guys about just looking at patterns on the chart. Like, I can just look at a pattern, no indicators, and tell what's going to happen. And once you could see that, like, you'll level up. You know, a double bottom, higher low in the afternoon is going to push up higher off that second higher low. You know what I'm saying? Oh. I really like looking at patterns on charts, bear flags, bull flags. We can look at Tesla real quick and see what happened with Tesla today with the 9 and the VWAP and the pre-market low. And you would have gotten Tesla before the news came out if you would have been looking at it from this perspective. So Tesla has been going up recently, right? Every day. So the day it's showing weakness, you might want to keep an eye on it. It might be the day it drops. So that first fat 10-minute candle that's touching the purple and yellow line, like right in the middle at the top, an alert goes off in your head. Anytime you see a big green 10-minute candle or a big red 10-minute candle, sellers or buyers are stepping in as we speak. 10 minutes of buying or selling is a great indicator. That's why I love the 10-minute chart. So right there, they started selling Tesla. And then it bear flags into the 9 and VWAP and then comes down to that purple line, which was pre-market lows, 260. In the morning, a stock is most likely going to take a little bounce at pre-market lows. So it bear flags again into the yellow line, the 9. So you had 2 bear flags into resistance because the 9 and VWAP is now resistance because it's a downtrend. And boom, fat 10-minute candle all the way from 262 down to like 253. Even if you bought a put there, it still kept dropping. So, you know, that was a breakdown with volume, and that's a clear bear trend. You know, below pre-market lows, below VWAP 9. And then I like to put emphasis on the way the candles look. So they're big red candles, lots of volume, lots of selling. So that was a really, really bearish trend today. That's all I use for day trading. This is the Qs. There was no signal to buy Q calls today. And I know people that bought Q calls in the middle of it dropping, and it dropped another $6. You can't just buy any dip. Broke pre-market lows, was below the 9 in VWAP. So sometimes people will ask me, "Hey, should I buy calls on this?" I'm like, it's on a downtrend. This is what I mean. If something looks like this, I'm not buying calls at all. Intraday perspective, not at all. So I know it's hard sometimes, but you just gotta see what's in front of you. Downtrend all day. Below 9 in VWAP, no signal. Big red candles. You gotta know how to day trade if you're gonna be buying stuff during the day when there's big moves, you know. And I put a call on my watch list at 12 just to see. You could see how it looked like it was bottoming out at 12 and it went into the 9. I put a call on my watch list and it wound up going minus 70%. And it looked like it was the bottom, right? Like it held support for like what? Like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and then boom, it plummets again. So that's why like I always say the trend is your friend. The Q's been ripping every day. If you bought puts during the day, you got destroyed. The trend is up. If you bought calls, you would have got paid. Today, all the important stocks are getting clapped, right? You stick with the trend, you stay in puts, and you get paid. You know, that's very key. If I ever day trade and lose, it's because I'm doing the opposite of what I should do. Anytime I do what I'm supposed to do, I win. Like I used to do the opposite. See something breaking out, oh, it's too high, buy puts. No, go with the calls. It's probably gonna keep going. I promise. I'll show you guys a picture of McDonald's and why McDonald's bounced where it bounced. I teach this all the time. Look at this. What a surprise, huh? McDonald's bounced perfectly right here. This is the weekly 200 moving average. I told you guys on weekly and monthly charts, bigger time frames, I used the 50, 100, and 200. So as you see, McDonald's, it's been on a super downtrend, but it came down to a big weekly support. McDonald's hasn't been under the weekly 200 average since the COVID crash in like 3.5 years. So when McDonald's comes down to an area it hasn't been to in 3.5 years, are you gonna buy calls or are you gonna buy puts? You buy calls. You buy calls, you make money. 100% at open, 300% at the top in a day because you bought at a key level. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm actually gonna start going over my trades and like telling you guys why I got in them so you can have some better perspectives. And then look, the day it bounced off the 200, it had a hammer on the daily chart. Like, this is so simple. I'm trying to teach y'all what I do. You gotta lock in. McDonald's had a hammer on Tuesday, which was the weekly 200 moving average. A hammer is an actionable signal. A hammer is bullish. You buy calls that close that day, it gaps up the next day. You already know it bounced off support, so you buy calls again, which we did. It runs again. Now, if it drops tomorrow, who cares? But I like to catch the 1 to 3 day moves. You know what I'm saying? So that's McDonald's on a weekly perspective and a daily perspective. I didn't even know it had that hammer until I just looked at it right now. That daily hammer from 2 days ago. But it makes sense. Like, I'll go look at stuff after the fact and be like, wow, look what it had. You know what I'm saying? So I'll show you Dell, what I saw on Dell. Dell came down to a support level. And like I said, that sector had good news that day. And we caught the daily breakout. So if you look at this picture, you can see 138 is a key level of support on Dell. So that purple arrow was last Friday, I think. Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, last Friday. So last Friday, Dell held support. And if you look to the left, it bounces off 138 all the time. So Dell held support on Friday. And on Monday morning, I already knew Dell was bullish looking at it in the pre-market and knowing that sector had news. So I want to buy calls on Dell if it breaks out, right? The breakout level for the daily trigger was 142, 143. And then that's when we basically got in. It was at 142, 143 on the 10-minute chart. And that's when it broke out to higher day and started ripping. So, and then you see that red candle next to it, the doji skinny one. That was the runners that we swung into Tuesday and made the extra percentage. So, like it's crazy looking at it from this perspective, because if we didn't catch that trend and we bought it like Wednesday, Thursday, we wouldn't have made money on Dell, but we literally caught it the day it ripped. Like, it's crazy. Sniper gang. Ooh, Bitcoin just took a little leg down. The trend is your friend, don't fight it.
So quiet in here. Nobody has questions.
Is people just soaking it in?
Yeah. What's for earnings next week? Discord is that funny.
I don't be looking at next week's earnings until Friday, because I like to focus on like now. But I think she posted a picture in important news, and next week we have Goldman Sachs on Monday. Yeah, next week is huge. United Health, UNH on Tuesday, Tesla on Wednesday, TSMC, Netflix on Thursday. Like, it's basically earnings season. The week after that, Google, Meta, like, it's about to get crazy. You know, I'm gonna let her handle that. If y'all got any questions about earnings, you can ask me in the chat. I don't call earnings plays really. Now that she's looking at the flow, she'll be able to see who's betting on what. So if we see people throw millions like 30 minutes before earnings, then we can hop in. That's gonna be really helpful, because we used to just manually I can do it manually, like, but obviously having live flow is helpful as well, you know. So.
Mm.
About to get wild. I would love for them to, like I said earlier, drop some of these good names even more because they're not gonna drop into earnings. They're gonna go up. So if I don't think Meta's gonna drop another 20, but if it does, that would be a nice dip buy for earnings. That shit been getting clapped. UNH, like you see how UNH is running the past like week. It has earnings coming up. Like it's an earnings run up. Like ESM earnings run up. Pepsi had an earnings run up. Like the same shit happens all the time. Just keep it simple.
I hopped on late, but what do you got? What do you have on watch tomorrow?
I swung Roblox puts, so I'm watching that. And I'm looking at coin puts. I think coin is ready for like 210, 205, 200. So I'll be watching coin puts. Rogue mentioned the Uber. If you go look at Uber's chart, they're like testing a breakout. So like Uber above, I think 74, and Tesla. If Tesla's weak tomorrow, it could go to 230, 228. But you know, I do most of my scanning in the morning, so and we have a report at 8:30, so it's not a huge report, but we'll see how futures react to that. We could bounce tomorrow. There's been a trend this year. Every time we have a big red day, the market's green the next day. So, you know, right now I feel bearish, but I might have to switch bullish in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So, um, kind of just see what everything's looking at 30, 45 minutes before the bell. Take it from there. They did. I posted a picture of the Qs if you want to go look and spy QQQ. They did bounce it a little bit at the 9. We're at the 9 on the daily chart, I believe. So, you know, we could have a little slight bounce here. And if we don't, that's super bearish. So, if you want to do a study session, just DM me and I'll take Tally or whoever wants to do it.
Bearish direction. Like this morning after that news, you know, everything kind of popped up, and then 30 minutes in, everything took a shit.
You know what's funny? I just unmuted you. You probably been talking to yourself this whole time.
Oh damn!
I unmuted you because I knew you were gonna be talking. You always talk, so I'm like, let me unmute him, and then you're talking.
Oh man, it was just 2 seconds. No, my question was, like when you're scanning things pre-market, like what are some of the things you look at point you in the bullish or bearish direction? 'Cause like this morning, you know, after the news, everything popped green, and then 30 minutes in, the market took a shit. So, what do you kind of look at to point you in that direction pre-market, or do you just kind of more or less wait till open, just kind of have your ears open?
All right, so I touched on this earlier. You might have been muted or something. But what happened was at 8:30 when we got the news that inflation was down and the market should have went up, it went up. The Qs went up like $3, but 10, 15 minutes later, it all reversed and went flat/red. So in my head, we had really good news and the market went up but went right back down. And if you look at Apple, Apple was down like $2, $1.50 right before open. And like same thing with Microsoft. Microsoft was down $1. So when I see stuff like that, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft red, when we just had good news, that's a signal in my head. And then if you're looking at it live, you see all them pushing down, you immediately got to flip to the other side if you are in calls or if you were bullish. So the fact that at 8:30, 10 minutes later, and the market's not open yet, and we're pushing down, in my head, I was like, oh, hold up. Like, what's going on here? The market didn't like the news, obviously. So that's my perspective. And like almost like all the big cap tech stocks were red too. Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Google, Netflix, Nvidia, like they were all red. So you gotta flip bearish when you see that happening. And now there's bullish stocks, That's why I have my watch list set up the way I do, because there was stuff going up, Solar ripped this morning. IWM was flying all morning. Home Depot, McDonald's, oil. So UNH.
Kind of seems like I've seen that like in the past. I don't know if I don't know if it's anything. Like kind of seems like when like the big ETFs are dumping, IWM be running. Is there any
man.
logic to that?
Yeah, it be doing the opposite. Like ever since I started trading IWM within the past like year and a half, 2 years, it's usually doing the opposite because the stocks that are in it are just completely different than the big stocks and like the Qs. So it's called like sector rotation. They'll sell this and buy this. You know what I'm saying? So like it's crazy to see IWM close up $7 and the Qs are down 10. Like you'll never believe it, but that we got like 5,000 stocks in the stock market, and some of them go up while the others go down. So that's just the way the market works. And then in my head today, right, this is what I was thinking. In my head, I was like, okay, IWM is up $7. It's probably a good short. It was, if you bought puts at 11, it was a good short for like 30 minutes or an hour, but then it kept going on an uptrend. So back to my point of the trend is your friend. Like IWM stayed bullish all day. You're trying to short something that's bullish, it's going to be really hard. You short something that's going down, it's going to be easier. So, I try not to get too tricky. So like, the stocks I consider small caps like Affirm, DraftKings, those were green today. AMC, GameStop, and then the banks were green. A lot of banks are in IWM, so I'm not surprised it was green today because my watch list says that it should have been. And then the Dow, oh no, these are futures. The Dow didn't really drop much today. The Dow, a lot of Dow stocks were green. Let's see. United Health is in the Dow. It was green. It's the top holding. Goldman Sachs is the second top holding. Goldman Sachs was green. Home Depot is top 5 top holdings in the Dow. It was green. Cat was green. McDonald's is in the Dow, green. So it's just so important to know about the market. Like you just become way more intelligent and you just know what's going on, Cat green, Home Depot green. UNH green. The Dow was flat today. Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla down bad. Q's tank. So Young Stratton, you taking notes? Don't be checking Roblox flow after I call it. Don't be putting faces on the flow either. They bought those calls this morning and got clapped. Market rotation. But what happens is all those IWM stocks are shitty stocks. So, you know, people just be trading those up and down. Those aren't long-term holds. If you hold those stocks long-term, you're not going to make money. Some of them are all right, but IWM will go up for a little bit, then they'll sell those and they'll buy all the AI stocks again. So I think, we'll get that earnings run up for the tech stocks coming up. So IWM will probably go back down. Yeah, oil was strong today. I think I looked at the flow before close. Let me see. Yeah, ExxonMobil had a beautiful breakout today. And you should have got in yesterday. Nice little hammer. It's trading in a tight range, but it held one of my supports at like 111. So yeah, you can watch that to the upside tomorrow. That had a beautiful breakout. This morning, look at that 10-minute chart. Big green candles. Your level was basically 112. Once you seen ExxonMobil go above 112 at 10 o'clock, you buy calls. It ripped $1.30. Cash out. That was a nice trade. There's a decent amount of options expiring tomorrow on ExxonMobil. 2,000 on the 113, 2,000 on the 114, 5,000 on the 115. Uh, put alerts on Qualcomm. Let me look at Qualcomm. Qualcomm is bearish under 200, and it has a little bit of support at like 195 and 193. But under 200, I think the trend is down. So just keep an eye on Qualcomm. If it's below 200, especially 199, 198, probably goes to 196, 193. Below 193, it tanks. It's kind of bear flagging right now on the weekly chart. And the past 3 weeks, it hasn't been able to break out. So I think it's bear flagging right now at the 9. This month could turn into a shooter. Target's 193. Keep an eye on that. Had a fat red candle today. Anybody else want me to look at anything or got any questions? Let me look at NVIDIA. Amazon support is 193. It bounced off that today. So if you see Amazon below 193, that's bearish. Basically has a double top on the weekly chart. And last week's low was 193. So, if it breaks 193 tomorrow or next week, it's going to create a downtrend. And, I've been talking about the Jeff Bezos wall at 200. He had a planned sale of shares, and he's been executing them every day this week. So, we were talking about Amazon calls and stuff like that, but it never broke out, and he keeps selling every day. So when you have pressure like that, it's not going to break out. So that's why Amazon has kind of been like moving sideways. I haven't looked at Upstart in months. Damn, they ripped today. What the hell? Of course, it had a hammer last week and a hammer yesterday. Round bottom on the daily chart. Yeah, I mean, it's getting to a tough level. It's something you could watch. Like if those stocks are bullish one day, it could keep going. But a stock like Upstart, they start to sell it once it gets to a previous resistance. It's something to watch though. I mean, this whole year it's been in the same high and low range. It's a really tight range. That's why I said they be selling it every time it goes up. But the play obviously in hindsight is 2020, but it had the hammer yesterday. You get the gap up today, but you could keep an eye on it. But like I said, I haven't watched it in a long time, so. Let's look at crowd. Watch crowd below 365. Crowd hasn't broke 365 in a month, but below there it has a gap to fill. Below 365, crowd could go to 360 and 350. So keep an eye on crowd below 365 level. It's just been moving sideways for a long time, but a chart like this, you stop looking at it and then it winds up falling $20. So yes, it is an inside day. You could really take it either way, but if you wait for that daily trigger that's at 380, that's a big move to wait for the breakout. Stuck in that big ass candle. Damn, it ran $20 on Wednesday. Holy shit. Oh, you got the inside day scan and you didn't even let me know? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. No wonder you be winning so much. So, at night you can make your daily levels for SPY, and then in the morning I'll chart the pre-market. And then looking at pre-market, I could tell if it's below or above the previous day's high or low. So pre-market will tell you if we're bullish or bearish, and then you can just chart your levels, SPY levels at night. So now we had a really big range today on SPY, so there's a possibility we open inside there. Um, but the levels would be basically 562 and 555. But we're most likely going to open inside that range tomorrow. If you look at the past 2 days on SPY, the high and the low were basically the same. But I forget the name of that pattern. Let me see if I can find it. But that's a bearish pattern on the daily chart. Let me see if I have a picture of it down here. I forget the name of it. There's a name for that pattern. Here we go. A green candle with a red one next to it. Green, red, then green. What is this? Green, then red. There's kind of a bearish harami, kind of ish, because the bullish harami in this picture it's showing the opposite. It's kind of a tweezer top. That's the one I was looking for. I'll post a picture of it. If you go to general education, I have a bunch of patterns and candlesticks. And like I said, I use that a lot to trade. That helps a lot if you know what the patterns mean and stuff like that. If you look all the way to the top right, SPY's daily chart kind of looks like a tweezer top. And you know, sometimes I'll talk about green inside days, right? So if you were in the chat when I was talking about Carvana, I said Carvana held support and has an inside day for tomorrow. Carvana had a bullish inside bar. That's a bullish pattern. It held support on a daily chart, so it held the support it's been holding for days.